Hello everybody, it is Owl Knight, and it is Brony time, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, Dual Destinies. Yes, I really wasn't sure if I was going to record again today, but I want to get as much content out there for you guys as possible before I go dark as I move, and I'll be without internet for a bit, and it'll be a thing. So we'll have to see how that goes. Another update, I have pre-ordered the Ace Attorney Investigations remaster that is apparently coming out at the end of this week. And that will probably be running along with this series when I do come back to recording, whenever that may be. So yeah, that's just a little update, and without further ado, let's get back into the case, as don't really remember where I left off yesterday. Yes, okay, yeah, we want to know what does the prosecution fail to explain why the body was moved. Yeah, what's the motive behind moving the body? That's true. They have failed to explain why Mr. Starbucks would bother bringing the body back at all. If the defendant wanted to kill the victim, why didn't he just leave his body in the rocket? Why go through all the trouble of bringing him all the way back to the boarding lounge? Oh, that's true. I don't think we've heard the prosecution's thoughts on that yet. That's because they have none, Your Honor. After all, how does one explain something so illogical? The prosecution is claiming that the defendant moved the victim's dead body. But what if the entire premise of that argument is wrong? Then let's hear your theory, Mr. Justice. The defense proposes that the defendant didn't kill the victim. He was helping him. God! Fulbright, explain it for our sad friend here, before I nod off to his monotone monologue. Inform him exactly why Spaceboy moved the victim. Huh? They gotta be joking. It's simple. Mr. Starbuck did what he did to direct suspicion away from himself. He wanted to create the impression he heroically risked his life to save his partner. That's why he made sure to make it to the security camera so there'd be a record. At the very least, he appears to have achieved success with you and the old man. Ah! The average person wearing a spacesuit weighs easily over 200 pounds. Saving the life of a partner who weighs as much while trying to escape deadly flames. What a dramatic sob story fit for the silver screen. Indeed, I was completely taken in by the humanity of the story. You see, yet the true ending is that all traces of his hammy act were meant to be blown up. Yes, and now we arrive at the thrilling conclusion. The third explosion.
Objection!
What are you talking about? There was no third explosion!
Silence!
Indeed, you are correct. But that is thanks to Detective Arm. It was she who identified and secured the bomb. However, it doesn't change the fact that the third bomb was discovered in the lounge. The steel coffin beside the witness stand, that would be a bomb transport case. We used that to transport the deactivated bomb here. It was found in the lounge, a bomb in the form of a most distasteful toy. What? One on the second floor of the main building, one on the launch pad, and one in the lounge. The defendant planned to set off 3 firework displays. Fortunately, the third was discovered before it could be detonated, for had it not, the victim's body and other vital evidence would surely have been immolated.
Objection!
Before you utter a word, know that the evidence supports me. It's like he's reading my mind. As it is still undergoing forensic investigation, I do not have the evidence on hand. However, know that a particular item was found in one of Mr. Starbuck's pockets. Specifically, a bomb detonation switch. You found what? I suspect the defendant had no time to destroy such damning evidence when the Space Center director and Detective Arms stumbled across the murder, so he thought to hide it in his pocket. Feeble-brained that he is. No! Starbuck would never do anything like that! Justice Dono, open your eyes and see the truth. There seems to be irrefutable evidence that the accused set off the explosions. No, there has to be some kind of mistake. This can't be the truth? Still can't accept it. You'll believe in your client, come what may. Then why don't you cross-examine the defendant himself? This has got to be a trap. It's like Blackwill's controlling the entire game. Yeah, it seems like he was waiting for me to bring up the body-moving issue. Why do you say that? Because he had just the right argument when I pointed it out. And to really rub it in, he had a decisive piece of evidence up his sleeve, too. He was trying to shake my faith in Mr. Starbuck and break me down. And making you cross-examine Mr. Starbuck at this point was part of his plan, too? Totally underhanded, but I wouldn't expect anything less from him. Now, let us hear from the arch-villain, the fiendish murderer himself, famed astronaut Solomon Starbuck. Witness your name and occupation, please. Solomon Starbuck, astronaut. How did this happen? Mr. Starbuck, you aren't looking very well. Will you be able to give testimony? I can't, I'm sorry. No. Well, unfortunately, no is not an option. You are being accused of the Space Center bombing and the murder of Clay Terran. Please testify to these allegations. Mind if I take this suit off? It's getting really heavy.
Silence!
It's not the weight of the suit that you feel, but of your sins. Prepare to carry that weight for the rest of your life. Banish me to the moon. I don't care anymore. Wow, that was super negative. Is he going to be alright up there? He'll be fine, I think. As long as he doesn't totally give up and say he did it, that is. All I did was support Clay over my shoulder and get us out of the rocket. Like always, I took the elevator down to the middle level and headed for the corridor. Clay had passed out by the time we got the order to evacuate. I didn't kill Clay. I was trying to save him. So you assert you didn't set off the bombs or murder the victim? But I bet you think I'm lying, right? I reserve all judgment until after I've heard your full testimony. Excuse me. I'm sure you don't believe me. I bet you don't even believe I'm an astronaut. I don't think the judge doubts that. Who'd wear a suit like that except an astronaut? I will say that when I saw you in that movie, you appeared quite courageous. Though I suppose reality never quite lives up to fantasy. I guess I'm just a big disappointment. I really don't care what happens anymore. Oh no, he's completely given up. What a depressing fellow. If you were to join me in the clink, I imagine that annoying sighing of yours would rub off on the other inmates. Like how it rubbed off on Prosecutor Blackquill a second ago? Huh? That was Blackquill sighing? Mr. Starbuck's testimony contains a glaring contradiction. The question is, what does it mean? Even if Mr. Starbuck is my client, I can't be gun-shy now. It's time to find out the truth. Wait a second. I took the middle level. He wouldn't have been able to, because the elevator was destroyed. Yeah, that's it.
Objection!
Mr. Starbuck, I need your testimony to be as accurate as possible. Was I not being accurate? No, because it's impossible for you to have taken the elevator down to the middle level. Which makes you say that, Mr. Justice? Please recall where the bomb went off in Launch Pad 1. Also recall that after the explosion, the middle level elevator was engulfed in flames. Oh, you're right, which means... Exactly, the launch pad's elevator would have been unusable. In other words... Mr. Starbuck, your statement is decidedly inconsistent with the facts. Oh. What's with this new jam? Oh, what's with the helmet? Ah, Mission Command! Mission Command, do you read me? Come in, please!
Objection!
This is Mission Command. I order you to pay attention! Stop this nonsense and answer my questions, Mr. Starbuck! Ah, my helmet! Ah! My oxygen tank! Oxygen concentration and body temperature declining. Requesting a medical assistance. Yeah. Mr. Starbuck, we are not in space right now. Please stop pretending you have lost consciousness and stand back up. I apologize, Your Honor. Forgot I was still on Earth. I feel like we all just got a real glimpse of Solomon Starbuck, the astronaut. Yeah, he seemed like more like an astronaut now than when he was doing all that sighing. Mr. Starbuck, could you please explain the inconsistency in your statement about how you used the middle-level elevator? I was nervous and I said the wrong thing. I'm sorry. I actually took a different route, I think. A different route? I hope you're able to deliver a straight story this time. I'll get it right this time, maybe. No, I mean, probably. Probably. It's understandable to be nervous, but let me remind you, your accuracy is paramount in court. Let's see, my escape route. What I said before was a mistake. I remember now. I took a different route. Maybe, probably. With the capsule and clay in my arms, I made my way down from the upper level. So you're saying you escaped without using the elevator? That's right. There's a ladder that spans the upper and middle levels. I use that ladder to get to the middle level. Luckily, the fire hadn't reached the ladder, so we could make our escape that way. The capsule you mentioned? I suppose you mean the thing next to Mr. Turan here. Was the capsule that important that you'd risk your life to take it with you? It almost goes without saying, but yeah, that capsule contains asteroid samples. Therefore, it's invaluable as research material. With a spacesuit on, Clay weighed a ton, but the scaring capsule was also important. I need you to answer to the best of your ability. Mr. Starbuck, please remember that your verdict is riding on your testimony. Maybe I'm guilty after all. Wonder if you could see the stars in prison. Bet it's more comfortable than a spaceship. Okay, that doesn't make any sense, dude. If you had the capsule and Clay, there's no way you could have gone down the ladder.
Objection!
Shit, I'd turn on autoplay. Mr. Starbuck, why don't you just tell the truth? Stop! The truth? The truth? Let's see. The Earth is blue. No. That's not right. So, I guess the Earth isn't blue? Yeah, that's it. The truth, Mr. Starbuck. The oxygen concentration is super low in this area. Prepare the emergency oxygen tanks. Mr. Justice, the witness appears confused. Please help draw out the truth from him. Mr. Starbuck, under the circumstances at the time, you couldn't possibly have reached the boarding lounge via the upper level route. Huh? Not so long as this was the escape route.
Take that!
To get down from the upper to the middle level where the launch pad 1 corridor is, you would have to go down the ladder. Isn't that right, Mr. Starbuck? Of course! That was the only way we could escape!
Objection!
But how would that work? At the time, you were supporting Mr. Turan over your shoulder, were you not? And remember, he was in full space gear as well, putting him at over 200 pounds. Oh! Well, it's easy on the moon. Gravity is only 1/6 of what it is on Earth.
Objection!
But the Space Center is located on Earth. Short of being an octopus climbing a ladder with an adult male in space gear in one arm, while carrying the capsule in your other is impossible, wouldn't you say? Oh, so Mr. Starbuck, how exactly did you climb down that ladder with your arms full? Mr. Starbuck, come clean and tell us the truth now. Engineer! Where's that engineer? Oxygen leak detected due to faulty maintenance. What the? He's flying the coop. Ah, help! I'm caught on the ceiling. Help! Anyone? Bailiff, prepare the cherry picker. We must launch our rescue mission at once. Well, that's one way to take off while being questioned. Rather prove his innocence so he can go to space again someday for real. Now then, Mr. Starbuck, do you think you can keep your feet planted on the ground? Yes, I apologize for losing control. Are you ready to tell us the truth? Not that. Anything but that. What is going on? This isn't the Mr. Starbuck I know. The Spear Space Boy is prone to deception. Witness. Yes. I thought your story odd. but perhaps the inconsistencies can be explained as the result of a medical side effect. Prosecutor Blackquill, please. Please don't talk about that. What are you talking about, Prosecutor Blackquill? Didn't I already state that Space Boy is unironically terrified of going into space? That's why I took some precautions just before the launch. For you see, traces of this anti-anxiety drug were found in his system. Oh, I sense things are about to nosedive. You got it all wrong. I told him during the investigation too. I don't know anything about any drugs. I never took any medication, I swear. It was found in his system, but he doesn't remember taking it? How could that be? Somebody must have slipped them to me. But I guess maybe that's why I don't remember. Because of the side effects? Yeah, that's why I don't remember much about what really happened. What? Order in the court. We can't get any useful testimony out of him if he doesn't remember anything. Well, this certainly explains why his testimony kept changing. Why didn't he just tell me he couldn't remember? Guess he didn't want anybody to find out he was terrified of going into space. Maybe I really did do it. Which brings us to the answer of our original question, of how the witness climbed down the ladder with a dead body. It does? So what is it? A dead man feels no pain and makes no complaints, Justice Dono. So the body was simply dropped down from the top of the ladder. Oh my, I see. The defendant could climb down with his free hand. Drop the body down? Who would do such a disrespectable thing? Besides, dropping the body down would leave marks on the body itself. So you are capable of quick thinking. Yes, you are correct. Really? Oh, thanks? Huh? What's this? It's the oxygen tank from the victim's spacesuit. It's ruptured, and I'm sure you can figure out why. You can't be implying it ruptured when the defendant dropped the victim's body. I am, for they fracture easily when struck.
Objection!
Even if that's true, the tank's explosion and shrapnel will leave its mark on the body. Yet according to the autopsy report, only the knife was found on the victim's body. You're clearly grasping at straws with this line of reasoning.
Silence.
A spacesuit isn't heavy for the sake of being heavy, Justice Dono. It includes the latest technological devices and is made of the fabric of tomorrow. This fabric is made to protect astronauts from the dangers of space. So falling a few Earth yards would hardly leave a mark on the wearer. Then should it be impossible to stab one through it as well? It should, and yet, though sheer coincidence, the knife slipped through a weak spot in the suit's structure and found its way to its target. What are the chances? You forget that our killer is an astronaut himself, with knowledge of how the suits work. He's got me there. Now my argument has been proven. Space Boy killed the victim in the rocket, and then dropped his body from the upper level. After climbing down, he shouldered the body and made sure the camera recorded them. There's no room for debate about these facts. It is clear that Solomon Starbuck is the only one who could have killed Clay Tehran. Here, the report regarding the astronauts' oxygen tanks. Feel free to use it as payment to cross the River Styx. Hey, this report is pretty detailed. Remaining oxygen tanks. The display on the astronaut's left shoulder shows the oxygen remaining after the incident. The victim's tanks was ruptured. Remaining oxygen was 0%. The tank belonging to Starbuck, who claims to have carried the victim, said it was 80% full. Tanks were functioning properly at the time. Let's see. Oh, what I just read. I guess that means these glowing cyan digits represent the amount of oxygen in the tank. Wait a second. It says it was 80% full, but that clearly says 50%. I'm done for. I'm going to prison instead of space! Space boy. Yes? Take heart. The bejeweled night sky is still beautiful, even when viewed through the bars. You mean the stars are seen as seen from prison? That's right. Your cell will be your spaceship. Picture the view through the iron bars. It's like being an astronaut in your own craft for all time. That's not a half bad thought. Mr. Starbuck, Prosecutor Blackquill got to him good. Spaceship prison cell. Fly me, my guilt, and my despair into the deepest, darkest space. And then let's get sucked into a black hole together. Mr. Starbuck, you can't give up hope. Oh, yes, Apollo. You know, Clay really looked up to you. He said you were an incredible man. He said you never give up your dreams of passion for space, no matter the situation. He said that? So don't give up now and help me prove your innocence. For the sake of the man who respected you and believed in you, Clay Tehran. For Clay? You're wasting your breath. Apollo, thank you. I can see things clearly now. The rain is gone. Mr. Starbuck. I'm fine now. Thanks for reminding me of my life's mission. Right. Both be fine. I'll prove you're innocent. You'll see. After that, we'll get you back into space. You've ignited the booster rockets of my soul! I'm on fire! I am Solomon Starbuck, astronaut, cosmic hero chosen by the universe itself. There's no time to be whimpering and crying. I can't let you and Clay down. Balderdash. The sun, the moon, all of space is calling me Solomon Soul Starbuck. Ready for launch. Begin the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift off! Well, I feel like I've witnessed an actual rocket launch. Apollo, you did it! You broke Prosecutor Blackquill's grip over Mr. Starbuck. I can't take the credit, it was all Mr. Starbuck. He pulled himself through. If you simpletons are done messaging one another's massaging each other's egos, oh my god. No matter how positive your mood, my advantage remains unshakable. I have but to wait for the final guilty verdict. Isn't that right, your baldness? God, I can't let up now. I have to stop Blackquill. I have to see this through. Mr. Project just has to make it back into space. I won't allow Clay's dream to remain unfulfilled. I've got to destroy Blackquill's argument. Somehow. Think, Justice, think! If the only people at Launchpad 1 were Clay and Mr. Starbuck, and if Clay was already dead by the time this footage was taken, then the only person who could have killed him is Mr. Starbuck. So the only way to counter Blackquill's argument is if I can prove that Clay was still alive when they arrived at the boarding lounge. In which case, I should be able to find some contradictions in the evidence itself. Now let's see. About this data that we just received. It supposedly proves that Mr. Starbuck dropped Clay's body in Launchpad 1. But if I'm going to prove that false, then there must be something I can use here. Enough of this farce, your boldness. Let's have your verdict.
Objection!
Prosecutor Blackquill, you seem to be in quite a hurry to rush the verdict. But this oxygen tank data you submitted just now says that Mr. Starbuck's tank had 80% remaining, while Mr. Tehran's had 0. Do you stand by the accuracy of this report? Of course. Then I guess it simply means that it's faulty, as evidence goes. You will explain what you mean, Justice Dono. It's simple. This evidence contradicts the facts of this case. Take a look here at the detailed description, and you'll see what I mean. I hope you have some evidence, Mr. Justice, because I don't see what's so contradictory. Yes, Your Honor, right away. This is the evidence that the oxygenate report stands in contradiction to. And we will present that evidence next time on Dual Destinies. So, here we go. I feel like this is kind of finale of whatever part of this case this is with what we're about to do here. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to Brony Time for more content, especially more Dual Destinies. Also, make sure to share this video far and wide so we can get many eyes on this series as possible. And I will see you all next time.